In section 12.2, we're going to be talking about the surface area of prisms and cylinders. So to start here, basic definition of a prism is just a polyhedron with two congruent parallel faces. We call those our bases. And everything else, all the other faces, we call our lateral faces. So the lateral area would be the sum of all of the areas of all the lateral faces, while the surface area is the sum of all of the faces added together, or the areas of all the faces added together. And just to kind of show where our surface area formulas come from, here I have my 3D solid of a rectangular prism. Notice that the bases, I'm going to call the side lengths A, B, C, and D, and the height, the distance between my bases, H. As I start to expand this or flatten out this prism, keep in mind here that the perimeter of our base is going to look like A plus B plus C plus D. And then here we have our net, all kind of laid out here. The lateral area would just be that rectangle, which the one dimension is A plus B plus C plus D, times our height, which as we know is just our perimeter. So that's where the perimeter of the base times our height comes from. And our surface area of the whole thing would be that lateral area plus the area of our bases times 2, because again, as we can see here, we have two bases there. So the formal formula here for lateral and surface area of any prism, the lateral area is the perimeter of your base times your height, and the surface area is that lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. You also can then just say that the surface area is just perimeter times height plus 2 times area of the base. Just know that that's also equal to the lateral area. So an example problem here, in number 1, let's find the surface area of the following prism. We can see here this is a triangular prism, so the only thing that we really need to think about is, okay, when we do the 2 times our area of our bases, we know that that area formula is base times height divided by 2. So really the only thing that changes with your prisms is depending on what shape your base is, that area formula is going to change slightly. So remember, surface area is our lateral area plus 2 times the area of our base, which is just perimeter of our base times our height plus 2 times the area of our base. Let's start with the perimeter. We see that one side of the triangle is 3, the other side is 4. This is a special, or a Pythagorean triple here, so that hypotenuse would need to equal 5. You also could figure that out using the Pythagorean theorem because it's a right triangle. But the perimeter added up, 3 plus 4 plus 5 is going to give you 12. The height, or the distance between those triangles, is 6 centimeters, so we're going to do 12 times 6 plus 2 times the area of our base. Remember, the area of our base for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. I have to use the 3 and the 4 as my base and height because those are the sides that meet at a right angle. 3 times 4 divided by 2 gives you 6. So I'm going to plug that in there, plug that whole thing into your calculator, and we should get 84 centimeters squared. And remember, when we're working with surface area, all of these will be dimensions squared because surface area deals with 2 dimensions. Next, let's look at a cylinder, which again is just a prism with circles for your bases. As we start to expand and turn that cylinder into a net, or so 2 dimensions, notice here that as we kind of open that up, that lateral area, the one dimension, is just our circumference of the circle, but just expanded into a straight line, which we also know the perimeter of a circle, which is the circumference. That formula is 2 pi r. And now we have our net totally expanded. We have a rectangle that is h by 2 pi r, and then we have 2 circles. So the lateral area here is 2 pi rh, and the surface area is 2 pi rh, or that lateral area, plus pi r squared times 2, because we have 2 circles. So the formal equations there for the lateral and surface area of a cylinder, lateral area would just be that 2 pi rh. Surface area is 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared, or our lateral area plus 2 pi r squared. Let's look at another example. I just want to find the lateral area of a cylinder. The whole reason why I'm explaining lateral area is you might come across some problems where I ask you to just find that. So here's an example of how you would do that. Lateral area, I'm just going to focus on 2 pi rh. Looking at that, I could see that my diameter of that circle is 8, so that means the radius is 4. Also, the height, or the distance between those 2 circles, is 10 inches. So I'm going to do 2 times pi times 4 times 10. If I want to leave this in terms of pi, I just multiply all the numbers. 2 times 4 times 10 gives you 80. So the lateral area would be 80 pi inches squared. And then if I wanted to find the surface area of the whole thing, I'm just going to do that lateral area plus 2 pi r squared. So 80 pi we already found, so 80 pi plus 2 times pi times 4 squared. and I'm left with 112 inches squared or 112 pi inches squared. And that would be it.